start with the NFC East and go to last place. I know folks are talking about, oh, Dallas could be last. I don't think that'll be the case. I'm still going to go with the New York Giants in fourth place. They'll go 6-11. They'll have a respectable record. Jackson Dart is going to play this year sooner, I think, than we think. Listen, Brian Dable on the hot seat, I think unfairly so. I think Dable's a really, really smart coach. But the fact of the matter is, after the one Daniel Jones playoff one year when he got Daniel Jones a massive contract because Daniel Jones threw, I think it was 15 touchdown passes, whatever the case may be. Losing record each of the last each of the last 2 seasons. Jackson Dart will be in there sooner rather than later to relieve Russell Wilson. Malik Neighbors is an absolute stud on the outside. And the Giants' defensive line, which was awesome last year, they added, in my opinion, the best player in the 2025 draft in Abdul Carter out of Penn State. I think he is going to wreak terror upon the likes of Jaden Daniels and Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts and everybody else who the Giants play this season. Obviously, you got the interior defensive linemen, which are as good as they are. The New York Giants are absolutely stacked on the defensive line, but the running game I don't trust. The O-line still isn't great. I think Dable ends up getting another year. At least I'm hoping it's the case because I think he's a really smart coach, but I've got the Giants finishing in last in the NFC East. I'll say my third place team, not great. I bashed the roster really since 2022. They will be better than folks give them credit for. They'll miss the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys, they'll go 9-8. They'll have a winning record. Very much like a Patriots year. It's like, oh, okay, they went 9-8. That's nice. Listen, Dak Prescott a season ago, people talk about, well, he went down and the season went to hell for Dallas. Season was already going to hell for Dallas. They were 3-5 when Dak Prescott had the season-ending hamstring injury. And as the biggest Dak fan in the world, we can show over my shoulder, got a Dak Prescott bobblehead behind me. I love me some Dak. But the problem is that, 2 years ago, Dak nearly wins league MVP, 36 touchdowns, 9 picks. Was, statistically speaking, the best quarterback in football in that 2023 season with a wide receiving core and an offensive skill position unit that was not good outside of CeeDee Lamb, who's amazing. Aside from CeeDee, bad across the board. But that was the same case last year, and Dak struggled. So, listen, I like the changes that Dallas has made to their offensive line. I actually like the Tyler Booker pick when it's all said and done. Obviously, this feels like Dallas is the NFC's version of the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, CeeDee Lamb isn't quite Jamar Chase. George Pickens is not T. Higgins. Dak Prescott is not Joe Burrow. But they're going to have to put and by the way, the running game's not that good. I think Dallas's O-line is better than Cincinnati's, but both teams have absolutely atrocious defenses. Cowboys will go 9-8. Dak will put up big numbers. George Pickens will wear thin on everybody in Dallas, just the way that he did in Pittsburgh, but I'm sure he'll have big numbers too. Dallas will at least have a winning record. In the NFC East, in second place, fun fact about the East that gets talked about at this time every year. There has not been a back-to-back NFC East champion since the Philadelphia Eagles in 2004. It's been 2 decades. And you got 2 teams that met in the NFC Championship game a season ago. So it's like, obviously one's the defending champion. One made some big additions this offseason. So who will finish in second? It will be the Washington Commanders, but they will make the playoffs. 1 win fewer than they had a year ago. They'll go 11-6. So I talked about this actually on Monday's show. Listen, Jaden Daniels is spectacular. The best rookie season of any quarterback in the history of the league. Terry McLaurin, who the Commanders just locked up long-term, outstanding wide receiver and was great before Jaden Daniels got there. Obviously, since then, it's kind of a Mike Evans syndrome, where now that he's got the elite quarterback play, he's just popped off. Listen, I know they traded Brian Robinson. Don't really care about that. They've still got Austin Eckler. They've still got good weapons. They added Deebo Samuel, who they're going to use in the run game. The big concern for me in Washington is the same concern it was a year ago, is I don't really trust the defense. Now, the good news is Dan Quinn, one of the best defensive coaches in football, so he'll get whatever he can. He'll get the absolute most out of that unit this season. I want to see if Washington has 1 fewer win than they did a year ago, which I think they will. I want to see them have an ability to win ugly. Again, they won close. They won a lot of games close last year. You think about that Atlanta game, the Philadelphia game that Jalen Hurts went down. They won a bunch of close games a season ago. But can they win a game 20-17? Can they win in a spot where maybe Jaden isn't all that great, but the defense gets some big stops and they're able to? Again, Washington plays a brutal schedule this year as opposed to a year ago. I want to see them make that next step. I think they will, even though they'll have 1 fewer win. The Commanders will make the playoffs, and that leaves, of course, none other than the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, who will go 14-3 for the second year in a row. Again, Offensively speaking, there's not a weakness. There's literally not a weakness. Jalen Hurts has taken a lot of crap this offseason for having two of the best Super Bowl performances that we've seen. We can go and show his numbers against Kansas City in that first Super Bowl. Yeah, he was amazing. 103 passer rating. Eagles scored 35 points. Not bad. Second Super Bowl, he was even better. He won Super Bowl MVP, passer rating of 119. Jalen was fantastic in both games. And so I think Jalen is going to make another step as a passer this season. Again, another new offensive coordinator this year for Jalen Hurts, which has been a constant for him in Philadelphia. But Saquon Barkley is the best back in football. You've still got the second best wide receiver duo with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert's a great tight end. The offensive line, now that there's been the retirements and injuries to some of the guys in Detroit, I think it is clear without question Philadelphia has the best offensive line in football. Lane Johnson's a no doubt future first ballot Hall of Famer. And guys like Jordan Mailata and Juergens could be as well if they continue to play the way they've been playing. I do have some concerns about Philadelphia's defense in the sense that the defensive line did lose multiple guys, in free agency, and Brandon Graham, I believe, retired. So, you have some losses up front, but remember they lost Jason Kelce, and they still ended up being great at the center position a season ago. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. It's the best roster in football in my mind, and they will break a streak, which, by the way, they were the last team to do this, win the NFC East multiple years consecutively. The Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions, will win the NFC East for the second year in a row, which, again, has not been done in 2 decades. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.